Ah, so yeah. Yes.
Sir, little come closer. Come closer. Ready before. Thank you.
Chamber's office is here, so very central. And I think the idea of Dr. Kumar's idea of having a bus
And that is the coronavirus. We tried 4 million times. So we ended up written by doctor also. So that is a real presentation of it. So this was the science of arrival of COVID, and then we are moving to the section where the science and everything are. So we say that it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Just correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the understanding is that over a period of time, COVID will also be like a common thing. So it will be there. If you test it, you will get positive. But it's not. But the body has started to react.
So now as you see that this is BA.4, similarly there is always a number given. Omicron stays as a B.
It is still Omicron now?
But now, yes, and now it is like reaching to the case in this case. So multiple variants have 2021 onwards. So we talk about the feature of this any sort of virus that how it comes from the white, and there are many more viruses. So this story is not only about COVID viruses, it's about the vaccination in general and how that impacts. But because this that way gave a trust into why we should go for vaccination in general. And then we must talk about the immune system, because that is the main aspect, fundamental, on which basis is our immune system. The vaccines are developed. Because vaccine imitate the way my immune system works in combating the invading elements, same way the vaccines. So you see, there is a small interactive
It's a 31st, I would say now.
And so build up the immunity also.
So this talks about the timeline. And how the different vaccines. So we talk about the traditional methods of vaccine development. Contemporary where we have a very small element of a virus, micro, and then these are traditional, but we talk about the genetic so we can always interact with these different vaccines and then talk about that information.
This is very, I think, it should be like it. What kind of vaccine, what are the needs of the vaccine?
That's good. Yes.
You can remove
So we
that.
can remove this.
The Covishield, which was
Yes.
the AstraZeneca.
Nice.
That's very clever.
Okay, let's turn to the one.
Oh, very nice.
I had a few of them.
Yeah.
You could never escape that. Right. And here he talks about the starting one, which is about the genome sequence that is a great and that's the point for this sequence look at that is the portion which is actually targeted and so we move on to how the vaccines are being developed. So here while we are talking about the Dr. Praja is with us, and she was the hero of the nation who worked on development of the flu vaccine. And we had a pleasure of talking and handling a very collaborative change of development, which is just one reason.
So that we took that to BSL-4 lab and shooting with Dr. Praga is there. So. And your suit is also there. So. And rest she can explain a lot of stories about that.
Tell us something, I would not say interesting or exciting, but there is something that you experience with, something that will stay in your head forever. During the vaccine journey. I'm sure there will be a lot of them, but one experience. Yes.
For 14 hours, that's still 5 million per annum. And I think all human scientists, most of them are human scientists working in the lab for the PA vaccine. So these are some of the applicants who use
They're very impressive. You have preserved every single item so
Really?
after 4 straight crossing reaching there. It's amazing.
And this was that when the Bharat Biotech made that trial vaccine. So these came into NIV Pune for the testing.
This is the preclinical
And then
studies.
she gave me that trials are there.
We visited as they said, can you share all the material? She said, we were so shocked and surprised. Nobody asked in the past. We just discard after experiment get over.
That
And
document.
they said, show us all the scribbling pads and your chart paper. And I said, Ajay, we got that also.
That becomes a part of the history.
We learned a new aspect of conservation of history. So it's very useful, kind of learning.
Their names are etched in history.
Yeah.
some pakade hogi.
Hello. Hi. Nice to meet you.
She said that
And this section takes out the trials, and that was one of the biggest. So much praise to you.
They are the daring one.
You want the same time, we don't want to be.
It's quite obvious.
But this COVID vaccine trials, people came on their own. In fact, they had to reject some of it because the number of volunteers were much more than that expectation. They did that.
So some of the people sent message, those who are knowing us in the system, that they are taking co-vaccine today, you know, and after our Eliza results is positive. And we also are happy sharing this to everybody in social media. We can't know, but personal note they are
And
putting.
the volunteers actually came to us and they gave interviews. We have all recorded interviews.
Great.
They are the volunteers, they are the doctors, they are the people there working on the stories. So you can bring all the interviews. So it was very interesting. I mean, normally they don't disclose the name, but they came, we just requested them and then they came.
I'm sir.
One of you in Pune also.
Yes, we did it.
So interesting stories are there.
They were very happy. In fact, when the invitation asked the passport, we feel so privileged that we are part of this exhibition. And part of this video is actually.
The last section is here. You can explain. Two more sections are there. This is about how we are just scaling up the production. Now we have done the trial, we are ready, but now we have to vaccinate maybe millions of people. How we do that? Briefly.
Yes, like until now we might have seen like how the vaccine was discovered, and now the biggest challenge is there are a lot of people in each country. Everybody has to be vaccinated. So that how it is done or how it is multiplied, that is done with this sophisticated instrument. It is a scaled down model of the actual reactor. Using this, which is very sophisticated instrument, they try to scale up so that each and every person can get the chance of getting vaccinated. So you can see these are the parts of the bioreactor. It involves all the necessary conditions required for production of vaccine because it is very much sophisticated and very difficult to maintain such kind of living system to be grown. So these are the all the necessary things. So this is the actual indication how big when you compare with this chair. It's such a huge instrument, and this actual thing it can produce. You can see it here. Around 6,000 liters is the capacity which the Serum Institute had, and it was producing around 24 lakh dosages per day. So it was a very great achievement to be seen, producing such kind of large dosages of this vaccine. So this next year you can see about the Director General explaining about how the challenges, what are the challenges they face. It was a very big challenge for them to produce such kind of huge vaccines. So this you can see his experience and his use, and you can see the manufacturing unit as well. How sterile it is and how clean it should be made. You can see in this pattern. You can see the vials going, and it is filled, packed, and ready for dispatch. So in the next section, you can see the actual rollout of vaccine. This is a very big achievement, very big step after the mass production is administered to people. So here you can see a lot of people involved and a lot of other stakeholders from the manufacturing units till the administration of the vaccine. You can see a lot of things are involved. For carrying things, people are involved for creating awareness as well to take vaccine to encourage them. And also this transporting and carrying also has one condition, that is the cold chain storage, because these kind of biomolecules or such kind of things, vaccines have to be stored in particular temperature for them to be active, or else they get denatured or they will be unstable and they will be useless. So this is how all the things of cold storage devices involved in manufacturing, in manufacturing as well, storage and even transport. You can see the actual vaccine kits inside this used to transport. And this tells which are the various departments involved by the government of India, all together made this world's biggest vaccination drive possible. And still it is. And here you can see the titles.
Great job.
Keep some of that.
They're very inquisitive as well.
The first
The interesting thing was, she got a vaccine.
highest age group, we were the first person. Just to see that they were answering. And you met that person. Manish, the first person in India to take that. And all the related vehicles to the
We had the same experience with Mark, which he had
Yes,
the fire. The nurse was about to close the door, and the doctor grabbed it. Literally, he grabbed it. And I tried to say,
This is our last point. This is with Sheldon and Sheldon both struggle to make this. We added. This is the how the farthest corner of the Sheldon. We are trying to reach that. And what we have done that is here the space was there, so we added that key corner here. Please.
See the difference. Okay. Okay, so what do I do? Either one on the side. Okay. Now this one. That doesn't fall. Yes, sir. So that's the vaccinated one and the unvaccinated one.
This was a vaccine, like the dengue vaccine. Yeah, this is the virus. So they will fall, they are not vaccinated. These are vaccinated. Like
That's the COVID, huh?
even if the virus, I mean,
We don't do
virus.
this in actual polling.
You can hold one and
Every time I hold mine doesn't fall. None of
You
them
can take the dengue virus.
Yes. Yeah. This is,
holding the virus like this.
thank you.
Thank you.
Sanitizers became the order.
So we added this also. That's why. How many vaccine doses are there? Yesterday's figure. We had a significant dates. The Indian because we had that one day. We are also taking. We are taking this.
One case of India, the last case was reported in
And we collected a lot of people those who were working at home or in labs. So maybe this wasn't how the things on the IT controls. Or maybe a ventilator, because ventilators were a big issue in the first time. So some special indigenous ventilators were there. Rural ventilators. And then we can ask the experts what are the suggestions. We can just schedule that. You can
It's really
So in someone else in 2020, the COVID was there. So she was saying something like,
vaccine is coming.
yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
We are going down. So we will do one circuit down, stand up the first, then go down. On right, backside, which will go. Where do you want to?
We have to promote
Covishield or Covaxin or whatever it is, and we are really proud of the Alzheimer scientists and all the scientists who have developed this vaccine for the sake of humanity, which has saved many of us. Yes, the National Council of Science Museum is doing a lot in spreading the message, and this is one such example where this particular exhibition would be enlightening the masses, and as all of us are very much aware, immunization is very much essential if we need to protect ourselves against these viruses. And India can be proud of its contributions to the humanity on this occasion. And I would like to congratulate the National Council of Science Museum and hope that this traveling exhibition, what is being inaugurated here today, travels across all the states, reaching the nook and corner and educating and enlightening people. Thank you.
Any exhibit that you thought was the highlight of
the excellent documentation right from the, what you call, see, normally the tendency of the scientist, I'm also a scientist, after a particular small sort of breakthrough or invention or something, we tend to discard it. And I should congratulate the National Council of Science Museums because they had approached the scientists, even the smallest, what you call, the vaccine which was made by them, that has been documented over here. And all the leading figures, the unknown faces who were part of this particular mission is documented here, which I think is commendable.
Sir, one second.
Vaccine science was very much
Yeah, double act. I think you might want to talk about CSM scientists. Something like that.
So we both will do it together. Maybe
We dance so how we manipulate the situation. That's the art.
On behalf of the British Deputy High Commission here in Bangalore, it's a great pleasure for me to be here today to witness the launch of the vaccine exhibition. At the same time, we're also very happy about the MOU being signed between the MCSM and the Science Museum. We're very proud of the Science Museum back in the UK, and it's great to see this vaccine exhibition because we all have gone through some tough times, and to see this exhibition here, which reminds us of the past, but also gives us optimism for the future. And I would really encourage that Bangaloreans and everyone from Karnataka should take this opportunity to come and witness this wonderful exhibition, which is going to be etched in history forever. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my name is Alice Barrett, I'm the Director of the British Council. The British Council is really delighted to be here. This was a small part of the India-UK Together Season of Culture, which launched a couple of years ago. And as part of the exhibition, we've been able to support a really brilliant collaboration between an Indian and a UK artist who have really brought together the concept of vaccines injecting hope through the sculpture that you will see at the beginning of the exhibition. This is a great way of demonstrating the power of art and science in communicating really difficult concepts and data and making it understandable to everyone in the future.
Thank you.
This is also very good.
Yeah, very good.
In fact, I tell others also, go and visit this. Some people can
ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಹಾಂ ಸರ್ ಕಟ್ಟದ ಸರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಸರ್
Students, may I please request you all to stand up for our dignitaries and give a huge round of applause to them. Kindly take your seats, students. A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. 2 years ago, a journey began. A journey that started in Delhi. moved to Nagpur, and then to Mumbai. Today, it brings us here to Bengaluru as we continue our quest to inspire and inform. Vaccines Injecting Hope is more than a traveling exhibition. It's a powerful narrative of resilience, science, and humanity's fight against the unseen enemy, COVID-19. National Council of Science Museums, NCSM, Ministry of Culture, Government of India, in collaboration with the Science Museum Group, London, presents this exhibition that explores the incredible story behind the creation of modern vaccines. It highlights not just scientific achievements, but also the human spirit that fueled them. By the time this journey ends in Kolkata 2025, we aim to reach 2 million hearts and minds, reminding us all that hope indeed is the most potent vaccine of all. Welcome all to this extraordinary voyage of discovery and hope. Moving on, I would invite Shri Samarendra Kumar, the DDG of NCSM, to accompany with the dignitaries to the dais and take their positions. I request Shri Samarendra Kumar to welcome our guests by presenting shawls to them. Mrs. Alison Barrett, India Country Director, British Council. Mr. Chandru Iyer, British Deputy High Commissioner. Sir Ian Blatchford, Executive Director, Science Museum Group, London. Thank you, Shri Samarendra Kumar. I would now invite Shri K. Saju Bhaskaran, Director of VITM, to felicitate our guests. Dr. Pragya Yadav, Senior Scientist, National Institute of Virology, Pune. Dr. B. Venkatraman, Chairman, Executive Committee, VITM. And last but not the least, Shri Samarendra Kumar, DDG of NCSM. Ahead, I would like to call upon Shri Samarendra Kumar, the Deputy Director General, NCSM, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning and namaskar to everyone present here in the audience. Honorable Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, though he's not here, she is not here, but she'll be giving her speech. She has sent her speech there. The chairperson of MS Swaminathan Research Foundation and former secretary to the Government of India for Health Research, Director General ICMR and Chief Scientist WHO. The chief guest of today's event, our special guests on the dais, Mr. Chandru Iyer, British Deputy High Commissioner, Sir Ian Blatchford, Executive Director, Science Museum Group, London, Dr. B. Venkatraman, Chairman, Executive Committee of VITM and former Director, Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research, IGCR, Ms. Alison Barrett, Country Director, British Council, India. Dr. Pragya Yadav, Senior Scientist and present the Head of the National Institute of Virology, Pune, ICMR. Mr. Janka Pushpanathan, she is Director South India, who is present here. My colleague, Mr. Sanju Bhaskaran, the Director of Vishwa Industrial Technological Museum. Our distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, young scientists and researchers present in the audience, and esteemed friends from the media. On behalf of National Council of Science Museum, which is functioning under the Ministry of Culture, Government of India, and on behalf of Director General National Council of Science Museum, who could not be present today due to some extensive work, it's my proud privilege to welcome you all to the inaugural event of the fourth leg of this exhibition called Vaccine Injecting Hope, which you will come to see very soon. In this historical Vishwa Industrial Technology Museum at Bangalore, named after Bharat Ratna Sir Moksha Gundam Visvesvaraya, widely known as Sir MV, who was a distinguished and India's pioneer civil engineer, statesman, and scholar. I extend a warm welcome to Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, who is actually played a major role as a chief scientist of the WHO, the inaugural chief scientist WHO and DG programs also. Dr. Swaminathan built the science division with focus on research, quality assurance of norms and standards, and digital health. She played a key role during pandemic in coordinating scientific efforts at the WHO, as well as in setting up COVAX with focus on equitable vaccine distribution to low and middle income countries. So we thank Madam because of the missed program, she could not make there, but she has sent her speech for our young audience who are present in this auditorium. I would like to extend a warm welcome to Mr. Chandra Iyer, the Deputy High Commissioner, the British High Commission in India, for his presence today, sir. The High Commission has been supportive of our activities in promoting a culture of science, and hope that the support of partnership will continue with some engaging activities in the future. And we hope to partnership in various other zones also, apart from the South India. I would like to cordially welcome Dr. V. Venkatraman, the Chairman of the Executive Committee of VITM and the member of the governing body of NCSM. Sir, you have been guiding us in the governing body and the various committees in attaining our objectives, and hope this guidance will continue in order to shape the agenda of the NCSM and VITM in particular to promote science activities across the nation. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to our friend and a philosopher from Science Museum London, Sir Anne Blatchford, the Executive Director, Science Museum Group London, for his presence today, despite a very hectic schedule, traveling from one part of the globe to other. We are also proud to announce that today we have signed an MOU with Science Museum Group London for a long-term partnership in science communication activities, and hope that this partnership will grow. Thank you, sir, for coming to India for the events today. The entire team of SMG has been so kind and helpful, which made the design and development of this exhibition so smooth. I would like to mention Ms. Helen Jones, the Director of Global Engagement, Ms. Shalini Narayan, the International Engagement Manager, who is also present here in the audience today, Mr. Sheldon Paquin, Ms. Natasha, Mr. Alex, Mr. Matt, Mr. Chris, and several others who have interacted with us online and offline for that constant feedback and support. We thank Science Museum Group London for collaboration with NCSM for various science communication activities, and hope it grows from strength to strength. We also like to thank the Wellcome Trust for supporting this exhibition in a big way. And the British Council has been a partner for many exhibitions and activities in the past with NCSM. This exhibition is special as an art installation through the lens has been commissioned for the exhibition blending art and science together, and as a part of Indo-UK Season of Culture. I welcome the India Director, British Council, Ms. Alison Barrett here in this auditorium for her valuable presence today, despite her very hectic schedule. We hope that the bonding will further strengthen with many such collaborations within our exhibitions. A very special welcome to Dr. Pragya Yadav, the Senior Scientist and the Head of the National Institute of Virology, Pune, for your valuable presence today. Heartiest congratulations to you for being awarded the Vigyan Sri Award 2024 for your valuable research and contribution in study and development of vaccines in India, especially during COVID-19 pandemic. Your support in making the exhibition is commendable and beyond words, especially in the content design, artifact collection, and clearing several of our doubts which were there coming during the making of this exhibition. Thank you, Dr. Yadav, and I hope that our association continues. She is already having a celebrity status, and based on her story, the vaccine development process, the full-length feature film, The Vaccine War, was developed. And if you have not seen, please see it today, and then you can see what the story is all about. I also welcome my colleague, Mr. Sanju Bhaskaran, the director of Vishwesvaraya Industrial Technology Museum, who has just joined this year, for his presence. And his team has done excellent work in dismantling the exhibition in Mumbai, dispatch, rebuilding almost the entire exhibition, graphics, translation, etc. in less than 5 to 6 weeks' time. They really deserve a big round of applause. Ms. Jyoti, Ms. Divya Tavra, Mr. Navaram, Mr. Krishnendu, Mr. Prem Kumar, Mr. Radhakrishnan, Mr. Mahesh Kumar Naik, and the entire technical team and all the support team deserve a big round of applause for making this event success today. Since this exhibition was there, but I would like to mention a few names because they were part of this exhibition. The individuals and institutions like that, Dr. Balram Bhargav, the then DG of ICMR, Dr. Priya Abram, the then Director of National Institute of Pune, Professor Majumdar, the former Director of National Institute of Biogenomic Research, scientists like Dr. Nivedita, Dr. Rajnikant, and health policy makers, regulators, researchers from NIV and ICMR for their valuable support in content development and providing artifacts for this exhibition. A special thanks to Mr. Adar Punawalla, CEO of Serum Institute of India, Pune Director, and the Director NIV, the DG ICMR, Mr. Hamish Shahni, MD of Cleansits Company, for their valuable support and donation of the artifacts and displays for the exhibition. So this is a collection of artifacts and a lot of stories, and many of the scientists which I referred, they have been exhibited in this exhibition. So you can listen to them, you can have and sometimes when we call the scientists like Dr. Pragya Yadav, you can have a dialogue with them. During this development of the exhibition, we contacted several professionals, scientists, researchers, doctors, and institutions who have contributed directly and indirectly for the exhibition. A special gratitude to the Corona warriors who gladly accepted to volunteer for donations and sharing their stories for the exhibition. Their stories were inspiring and thought-provoking, and we hope that you all will appreciate their contribution once you go and see the exhibition. The exhibition is about vaccine and the science of vaccines, how they are made, tested, manufactured, and then rolled out to the needy ones. It's the research says that the COVID is not over, the long COVID is in the process. Several people are getting infected, and probably we need to be cautious in approaching this vaccines, in approaching this disease which are happening today. It's not only about the vaccine developed during the COVID, but which all of us have experienced in our lifetime. But if I may say, and a reminder for us to keep faith in science and science only to combat any such pandemic, or for that matter, diseases in general. The story is fascinating. We learn about the hard work, motivation, and dedication of scientists and researchers who made it possible from their mouth. It also gives hope for the development of new vaccines, new vaccines for future diseases, which is going to affect the mankind. India, which is called the pharmacy of the world, due to its ability to provide medicines and medical support to various nations across the globe, and will need many such scientists and researchers, which we see in the audience today, to remain global leader in the future too. We sincerely hope that the exhibition and the activities planned with the exhibition at this venue will meet its objectives in creating a public awareness amongst a large cross-section of population on vaccines and its importance in our lives. So far, the exhibition at 3 venues has been seen by over 1.4 million visitors, including visitors to the mobile van. Our combined total reach through social media is 1.37 million. The mobile van, which will also be flagged up today, is also being appreciated by all, especially those who are unable to come to the main venue. At the end, my heartfelt welcome to all and everyone present here for their valuable time, and hope you will go back with very good memories of the exhibition. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful and inspiring words, setting the perfect tone for today's event. To lighten this enlightening journey, I would like to call upon our esteemed guests to light the ceremonial lamp, a light of hope that guides us forward.
आरोग्यं धनसम्पदं
We are incredibly honored to have with us a panel of distinguished dignitaries who have greatly contributed to the fields of science and education. Mrs. Alison Barrett, India Country Director, British Council. With over 25 years of experience in various roles within the British Council, Mrs. Barrett has been pivotal in strengthening UK-India relations and connections through teaching, examinations, and cultural engagement. I would like to request Mrs. Alison Barrett to come forward and give a speech.
Namaskara. Thank you very much for inviting me here today. Dignitaries and friends on the stage, colleagues, friends, and young scientists, and hopefully some young artists in the audience, welcome to the exhibition Injecting Hope. I'm very pleased to be here. This is a fantastic collaboration between the UK and India. It's a fantastic collaboration which really demonstrates the power of art and science. It's a collaboration which started, as we heard, 2 years ago, but it's a collaboration that I know is going from strength to strength, and I am sure we will be here many, many more times over the next decades to come. I'd like to say a few words just about the sculpture that you will see when you walk into the exhibition today. So the sculpture is called Through the Lens, and it's a collaboration between a British and an Indian artist. But it's a story that is inspired, it's a sculpture that's inspired by a story that comes from South India, from Mysore. In the 1800s, there was a smallpox vaccine, and the public at that time were very nervous to take vaccines. And so the princesses of Mysore decided to use their public platform to inspire people in the community to take the smallpox vaccine. And in the painting upstairs, which is painted by an Irish painter, Thomas Hickey, you will see the princess pulling up her sleeve and offering her arm for the vaccine. And if we scroll back, or go forward a couple of hundred years, but go back a few years in our own lives, we know that this happened during the beginning of the COVID pandemic too, and that we needed confidence in the vaccine to be able to take it ourselves. And I think this is a very, really useful example of how life imitates art and art imitates life. So please do have a look at that sculpture, and I hope you enjoy it and you're inspired by a story that comes from the south of India. So the British Council is here to support collaborations between the UK and India through arts, through culture, through education, and through language. I hope that we have many scientists in the audience who also will make it a point to seek out the artists that you meet when you go to university, to seek out the linguists that you meet when you go to university, and make sure that together you can ensure that your work, the data, the science that you produce is also captivating audiences through art and through language. So please make sure that you find the artists when you go to university. A final congratulations to the Science Museum Group and to the National Council of Science Museums for their incredible collaboration. This is a collaboration that has been cemented today with an MOU of 5 more years. But more than that, it's not a collaboration, it's not just a partnership, it's an incredible friendship. And I'm really, really proud to see how this friendship will grow in the future. So congratulations to you, Sir Ian, and Dr. Kumar for your friendship. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Barrett, for sharing your valuable insights and experiences with us. Your words have truly enriched our understanding. Moving on, Dr. Pragya Yadav, Senior Scientist of National Institute of Virology, Pune. Dr. Yadav and her team played a crucial role in the development of the indigenous Covaxin vaccine, significantly contributing to India's fight against COVID-19. May I request Dr. Pragya Yadav to come forward and speak with us.
Thank you very much. I'm very glad today being here in Bangalore, first time in this science museum. And if you see a journey which is start from zero and then you see the outcome. So I am now here the third. So first I visited in Delhi launch, then Nagpur, and then I'm here in Bangalore. And I'm out of my curiosity, I requested and visited even British Science Museum to see the same vaccine injecting hope. And I met Shalini there and the entire team, Sheldon and others, who made the similar kind of spectrum of the pictures, but everything in the context of United Kingdom. So how these even science venture in two different countries, because of the united minds of people who have interest in museum, and then taking this knowledge forward for the future generation. Extraordinary efforts was done by National Council of Science Museum and also British Council Museum together to do this venture. And I think it has benefited billions of not only the children but also the parents, teachers, and many people who has any interest in the science. And this set a very good example also that how different countries can work together on similar concept to nurture our future generation for bringing good information. Coming back to the pandemic, as mentioned by Ms. Ellison, that there was smallpox vaccination, which was the first disease which was eradicated by efforts of by scientific mind and also by public health expert. After the having vaccination, it took hundreds of years to eradicate the disease. But later on, so far, we are fighting every single day with so many programs. We have universal immunization for children where we give 12 vaccination, and we realized that during the pandemic when there was a lockdown, we could not deliver the vaccine of measles, rubella, these very simple vaccination which supposed to be given to children. And there was a very big outbreaks last year. And then people realized the mistake, and children were staying in home. They did not go to booth to have the vaccination. So we learn by doing again and again mistake. It's kind of a nature of us, but science keep telling us that what is the path forward to look forward. So I was so excited that I started without addressing the very honorable guest today present on the podium, and all the beautiful minds coming from not only from the scientific institution but also a number of the volunteers who has actually worked hard to bring this museum. And I should say hello to my young generation who are sitting in different color coded, coming from different schools. Thank you so much for coming today. We are so happy to see you here. So I must congratulate Dr. Samrain sir and entire team, British Council team, for bringing this with this whole effort of the hope in the vaccine injecting hope. We were discussing even from the first day what will be the title of this program, and finally they came up with this very nice title, "The Hope is the Word," which actually we all the time look forward when we are suffering, when under pressure, and when there is no other way out. And the vaccine was a hope that we can deal with COVID pandemic, and then we can overcome. But if we look at the history of pandemic, there were many pandemic in the past, and the plague was one of the pandemic which killed even 52% population when it happened time to time. Influenza virus, we all know that recently there is many outbreak going in India of avian influenza. But in the past, Spanish flu and many other flus had killed millions of the people across the world. So these very tough lessons was taught to human being, and we learned that we should have not only the vaccine but different kind of therapeutics agents which can not only help in treating the people but also recovering, and also learning that how research and development is very important for any country, and also the collaboration among different stakeholders across the globe, because diseases see no boundaries. So either it's a COVID, or recently we are seeing monkeypox, and you will be happy to see all these information displayed in this museum, not from the very, very past pandemic, what kind of PP was used in the past, what kind of advancement is made in the recent past, and not only that, how fast science is grown, that a vaccine which take 100 years to making and delivering to the public. India could not get smallpox vaccine for a very, very long time, and we don't know how many people died in that process. But COVID pandemic, a pandemic which was an unknown pathogen, we didn't have any information. Not only we could develop the vaccine, but we could deliver our country, and we could share through the vaccine method to so many countries. And this also represent that we have to live in a harmony, and this the message of Indian that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And till we have that thought process, we cannot be a healthy, happy society as a global family. So with this, I request all my young children who are present today to please go through the museum, ask all the relevant questions. You have wonderful volunteers here who are going to answer. And I would like to come back sometime and even interact personally with you on the vaccine or whatever you want to know, and give my best to explain whatever questions there in your mind. Most importantly, you all have to think a future where we should have better technology, faster technology. And recently there is a concept has come that we should make vaccine in 100 days. We are talking 9 months, but when we say 9 months, means we are talking the development of a vaccine, preclinical, phase 1, 2, 3 trial, and then coming to the market. But now there is a concept how we can fast track, because each days which we delay in process of the immunization in situation of the outbreak or pandemic, we are losing a lot of lives. So there is a challenge, there is a future for you to have better technology, how you can do fast track these technology, and there is a lot of future. And you could realize that during the pandemic, the scientists, suddenly the spectrum changed. The heroes were industry, hero was scientists, and heroes were public health expert. And I think we should not forget those lessons. We should keep remembering, keep reminding, and we should keep focusing in the same positive direction to have better through the research and development. Thank you very much for having me today.
Thank you, Dr. Yadav, for your engaging and informative speech. We would, of course, love to have you again at VITM. Moving on ahead, Sir Ian Blatchford, Executive Director, Science Museum Group, London. Since November 2010, Sir Ian has led the Science Museum Group, combining his role with that of Director of the Science Museum, shaping the future of science communication. I invite Sir Ian Blatchford to the podium to deliver his address.
Well, good morning, everyone. And it's a great pleasure to be here for the official launch of Injecting Hope, the latest project delivered by the Science Museum's very happy partnership with our colleagues at the National Council of Science Museums. And before I start with my official speech, I just have to reflect that having been in the exhibition this morning, so many memories flood back. I think the first thing that we should all remember is how terrifying COVID was, and the experience and the uncertainty. And in fact, the title, Injecting Hope, was not chosen by me or Dr. Kumar. We actually did research with citizens in both countries, and they said that that was the title they wanted. And that tells you how inspiring the vaccine story is. But also, two other memories came back to me. The first is that my museum was also a vaccination center. And it became very, very fashionable to have your vaccine at the Science Museum. So we had members of the royal family, members of the government, very famous actors, and every day people phoned my office saying, could they jump the queue? To which the answer was no. They had to make an appointment. But also, I remember where I had my vaccine, and I had a particularly wonderful experience because I went to Lord's cricket ground for my vaccine. And I will always remember the very rude thing the nurse said to me as she was injecting me. She said, Sir Ian, the vaccine will save your life, but it will not improve your batting average. and I'm afraid she was right. But more generally, I just wanted to comment that providing the citizens of our two great democracies with the best access to engaging science stories is vital to our wealth, health and climate of our two countries. And so much of the future will be shaped by the young people who visit our museums and by the career choices they make. You've just been told by the scientists that you must think about those careers. And so our partnership here in India is very noble work. And as you've heard, it's such a great friendship that we signed a new 5-year partnership this morning. And that is founded on hard work, serious research, mutual respect, and above all, a great sense of humour. The Indian version of Injecting Hope, as we've already heard, has already been seen by almost 1.4 million people. That really is an incredible achievement. And it is actually our 4th collaboration and builds on the great success we had with the exhibition Superbugs about the future of antimicrobial resistance. And that toured between 2019 and 2020. And so many of our adventures, we've enjoyed wonderful support from external partners to make all of it possible. We've already heard about the role of the Wellcome Trust, and I'm particularly delighted to see my colleagues from the British High Commission and the British Council here this morning. You've done so much to make all of this happen. And what has also delighted me is witnessing the amazing journey that India itself has been on over the past 5 years that I've been working here. Most obviously, the audacity of the Indian space program, especially relevant in this city of all cities. My museum live streamed the Chandrayaan-3 landing, and we watched the control room and saw many happy, very relieved and proud faces as that mission achieved its objectives. And I was particularly delighted that when I was last in the city, I was able to meet the chairman of ISRO and congratulate him in person. So we're certainly going to be working with our colleagues here in India to build great stories about ISRO, both the technology and the people, and show exhibits about the Indian space program at our own mothership in London. Of course, India is innovating in so many fields. On Thursday, I'm speaking at the Global Bio Forum in Delhi, and I'll be in conversation with the founding director of the New Science Gallery here about how we can both work to promote ideas of innovation in a whole range of fields, both in India and in Britain. And we're also working with the National Council of Science Museums on the idea of a nationwide roadshow, which will celebrate the great range of projects where Indian and British scientists are collaborating to address global challenges. So, ladies and gentlemen, and all the young people in this audience, perhaps you can understand why, for each visit to this amazing country, for me it feels like a homecoming. My colleagues here feel like family, which I think is the highest praise you can ever offer to other people. So I wish Injecting Hope all possible success, and I look forward to what we can achieve together over the next 5 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Ian, for your compelling speech. Moving ahead, Dr. Chandru Iyer, British Deputy High Commissioner to Karnataka and Kerala, appointed in November 2022, Mr. Iyer is responsible for all the aspects of UK's engagement in the 2 South Indian states. His role includes promoting business and trade links, strengthening scientific, technological and educational cooperation, and working with partners to tackle climate change. I would now request Mr. Chandru Iyer to share his insights with us.
So before I kickstart, just want to say, Sir Ian, that you and me can take maybe a lesson or two from Virat Kohli when he comes to England next year for the Test series. So we can improve our batting averages, you and me together. It's an absolute delight and pleasure to be here this afternoon with all of you. It's an amazing occasion today. But it's been an amazing few days, yesterday and today. So I'll talk a bit about, the kind of collaborative work that we are doing in Namma Bengaluru. So super excited about that. But here today, at the outset, let me just say namaskara to all of you. How are you all, kids at the back? Are you enjoying? Are you enjoying the speeches? Do you want long speeches? I'm going to keep it very short. So it's great to be here today. At the outset, acknowledge the presence of all the dignitaries on the dais. It's an amazing opportunity to be here today for the launch of the vaccine Injecting Hope exhibition. When it went to Nagpur, which is my hometown, I was thinking, when is this going to come to Namma Bengaluru? So today that dream is fulfilled and this exhibition is here. And I would like to specially acknowledge the presence of the kids at the back. You make these science museums extremely special. Just like I remember, my son is 19 now, but I remember taking him to the Science Museum in London when he was a kid, and the amazing excitement that kids bring to the Science Museum. It's absolutely wonderful. So thank you very much for being here, and I hope that you enjoy every bit of the new vaccine exhibition that is here. So I represent the British government here on behalf of His Majesty's government. I'm here today to acknowledge the wonderful work that is being done by the Science Museum Group, my wonderful colleagues Alison and Janaka at British Council, who all come together to make amazing stuff like this happen. And the relationship between the two countries is a very strong relationship. It stood the test of time, and we have a lot of things to look forward to in the future. But what we are seeing today is an example of collaboration which exhibits our soft power capability. And Alison mentioned it rightly when she said it's about arts and science coming together. So this is what we are seeing here at this exhibition. And I think we should not forget the past. We all went through some tough times, not just in India, not just in the UK, but around the world. But at that time, just want to make a mention of a couple of amazing collaborative stories that happened between India and the UK. We all wanted a vaccine, and you all know, study science, that coming up with a vaccine takes years, almost 5 to 10 years, as Pragyaji would allude to. But when we were pushed to the corner, we as a society, we as the community, we as countries were pushed to the corner, we told the virus that you are not going to win, and we are going to win this battle. And an example of how AstraZeneca and the University of Oxford and Serum Institute came together to create this wonderful vaccine that has saved so many of us is a great example of India-UK collaboration. But not just in the world of vaccines. The other thing very quickly want to mention is we have a supermarket in the UK called Tesco, which kept a lot of houses running when in the difficult times during COVID. But Tesco UK could work because Tesco India here was supporting it. And that's another example of how collaborative work happens. We would not have got our groceries back in the UK if Tesco India did not keep the technology working. So there are wonderful examples like that. Just for the kids, yesterday I was at an event called the Shell Changemakers run by Shell. And I had the proud privilege of being a shark on a Shark Tank for the children. And what I could see there was an amazing group of kids who are in the age group of 10 to 13, coming up with some brilliant ideas for the future. So I just hope that an exhibition like this also inspires a lot of you to become future doctors, virologists, microbiologists, so that when we see the next virus coming our way, we can see that the future is in safe hands of all of you. So I hope this exhibition inspires you to do that. And as Dr. Pragya said very rightly, the key words are hope, and the key words are also collaboration, which defines the relationship between India and the UK. So once again, hearty congratulations to all the stakeholders for making this exhibition possible, and also hearty congratulations to the Science Museum Group and NCSM on this wonderful MOU that has been signed. So looking forward to seeing some wonderful results as a result of that. So kids, enjoy the exhibition, and do tell us how you feel about it. And I'm looking forward to being in this exhibition and spending some quiet time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Iyer, for your inspired, thoughtful conversation. Moving moving on ahead, Dr. B. Venkatraman, Chairman Executive Committee, VITM, and former Director of Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research, Kalpakkam. Dr. Venkatraman brings extensive expertise for his leadership roles at various premier organizations advancing research and innovation in atomic research and technology. I invite Dr. Venkatraman to address the gathering.
Namaste and good afternoon to everybody, distinguished dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, ladies and gentlemen, students, press, media. Well, it is my proud privilege to be here today. And when I went to this particular exhibition up, and I was going through the various, what you call, the stories, especially how India rose up on that particular occasion, I also realized that if I'm here in front of you today, it is because of the vaccine. I had been affected by COVID twice. Before it was, it was declared as a pandemic on March 22nd, 2020, if I remember right. I had all the symptoms. I had gone to Bombay, probably contracted it through the airport or something like that, and all the symptoms. And second time, 1 year later, but then by that time I was already vaccinated. And to just tell you, when I saw a CT image in this particular exhibition, I realized that the CORAD score by which the intensity of COVID was being evaluated, I also had it. I was the director of the medical group at Kalpakkam, where we have more than about 40,000 beneficiaries, including about more than 1 lakh villages surrounding nearby. My CORAD score was roughly about 2. And a person in my own office who was not vaccinated, who did not take the vaccination, his CORAD score was 15. He took roughly about more than a month to recover. Whereas I was in isolation for about 10 days. And that also because we had aged people in our house and I could come back. So thanks to all the virologists, scientists, doctors who had made it possible. And most important, when I went through this, I also realized the magnitude. Like a lab scale product has been transformed into a societal reality in a very short time and distributing it to the masses in a country of billion, in India where logistics, everything is a challenge. I think we should do hats off. And the planning, where the vaccine was administered first for the first responders, then to the doctors, the way in which it was planned, the strategy, I think it deserves a tremendous applause to all. And we talk about Nari Shakti. I thought, let me deviate today. It is because of Nari Saraswati that we have had these sort of innovations also possible. So, friends, it has been a wonderful thing. And I would like to definitely thank NCSCM because DG and DDG for having this exhibition in Namma Bengaluru. And when VITM is celebrating its Diamond Jubilee year this year. So it is a matter of pride that this particular traveling exhibition is going to be a jewel in the crown of VITM in this particular year. And today is going to be another important day in the history of VITM and NCSCM because of the MOU that has been signed between the Science Museum Group London and VITM NCSCM. So it's a matter of pride. And not only that, let me tell you, VITM occupies a pride of place in the southern region, and it is one of the best museums in the country, having visited the various galleries, etc., over a period of time. Well, I made it a point to see that my granddaughter comes here. She came here. I got her specifically here, and I hope that I'll go to UK also to see because her mother is in UK. She's a doctor ophthalmologist there. Okay. A number of innovations has been done over here. The most exciting part of NCSCM, I can tell this as a scientist, because I belong to the Department of Atomic Energy, is that we at scientist level cannot talk to a public in their terms, I mean, in the language, what they can understand. We cannot come down beyond a particular pedestal, but NCSCM is capable of doing that. And we in Atomic Energy realized when a couple of museums had been set up by them, and that could communicate with the public on the role of nuclear energy, etc. That's a different topic. But the fact is that NCSCM has a way of communicating aptly with the public, which is what is needed, and this is a standing example. Well, I would not like to, I would like to see go around, as it has been told, silently, we would like to go around, etc. But again, let me tell to all the students here that this particular museum has a variety of galleries, which I feel that each one of you should spend time. Science today has come a long way, and I was talking to our executive director that India has a very rich tradition of science, technology and culture, which dates back to the ancient centuries. In fact, I was telling that there could probably be a small sort of group between, in NCSCM and the Science Museum, which can identify areas that we had been proud of in the past, which have translated into technologies today and are of use in the society. One such, I can just say, is the art and science of making the bronze icons, which are very, very popular all over the world. In fact, not a single museum in the world will be there where you cannot see a South Indian bronze icon. And if you go back in history, all these things have been made by the traditional lost wax process by our sthapatis based on agamas, which have very rich scientific background. And that is the process of investment casting, which is being used today for making the turbine blades of the aero engines. So there are areas where I think both the institutions can learn from each other and have galleries which would be of use to the students. Today, it is an interdisciplinary world where we need to cut across the disciplines and then learn, and that would definitely make us successful. Once again, I would like to thank the DDG and NCSCM for this particular wonderful initiative, and our Executive Director, our High Commissioner, Deputy High Commissioner here. I was sharing a little bit of this one with him also, which has made this possible today, and I'm sure that many such events would follow, which would be for the benefit of the scientific community in India. Thank you very much, and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Dr. Venkatraman, for your words. Moving on now to the inaugural speech by Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, Chairperson, MS Swaminathan Research and Foundation. Although she is unable to join us in person, we are pleased to share her inaugural address via video.
Good morning, namaskar and greetings from the MS Swaminathan Research Foundation. I'm Dr. Soumya Swaminathan. Thank you so much for inviting me to say a few words at the opening of the Bangalore inaugural of the traveling exhibition on vaccines injecting hope. I want to congratulate all the groups that have come together in order to create this traveling exhibition on this really very important topic. I think the whole area of vaccines and immunology and the development of new platforms to create vaccines actually really came in full view of the public and generated a lot of interest during the COVID pandemic. And India, of course, played a very major role in developing vaccines for COVID, not just to vaccinate the entire population of India, but also to be able to send these vaccines abroad to many other countries, and also through the COVAX mechanism that was set up by the World Health Organization in order to develop and deliver vaccines to low and middle income countries. India's had a fairly long history of affordable innovation and is a leading global supplier of vaccines, but also generic drugs, particularly to low and middle income countries through organizations like UNICEF, Gavi, the Global Fund, and so on. The fact that there's so much science behind developing vaccines, and there's been so much progress in the last few decades, it is, only in the last century or so, of course, that, or a little over a century, that we even understand the concept of microorganisms. And of course, there have been efforts at inducing protection against diseases like smallpox by variolation, which was practiced in India, but potentially also in China and a few other places, where the traditional knowledge existed about creating immunity to a disease by exposing to a small dose of the same or a related virus. And then we know, of course, the story of Edward Jenner and how he had taken the lesions from a cowpox lesion on a milkmaid and injected it into a young boy who was then exposed to smallpox and was found to be protected. So from those early days, and then the development of the BCG vaccine in the 1920s, early 1920s, by Calmette and Guérin in France, where they actually took the Mycobacterium bovis and they passaged it many times till it was attenuated. It had a low virulence and it still was able to give protection against tuberculosis. In fact, that particular vaccine, BCG, is still used around the world to vaccinate newborns against severe forms of tuberculosis. And in fact, the world is still searching for a better vaccine for TB. So there are many diseases for which we have vaccines, which are now part of the national immunization programs of countries. Deadly diseases which either have been eradicated, like smallpox, or are close to being eradicated, like polio. We're very much on the last leg over there, but the last leg in polio has taken a very long time because of the residual circulating wild polio virus. But the fact that we were able to get to this point from having hundreds of thousands of children being paralyzed or dying from polio every year, today we are counting on one hand or two hands the number of children who are developing polio, and that too in a very restricted geography. So we could not have made that without vaccines. Similarly, for diseases like measles, diphtheria, mumps, many others, hepatitis, for which children used to suffer, they used to die from these diseases. Today they have almost gone down a lot, significantly. In fact, you can take tetanus. So tetanus, even when I was training, I remember having children being brought into the ward, newborns, suffering from neonatal tetanus, because the cow dung used to be applied to their umbilical cord and these poor babies would get tetanus. The program of immunizing mothers with tetanus toxoid, a very cheap and very safe vaccine, basically has eliminated neonatal tetanus. So in the last 40 years, there are diseases that I used to see frequently during the days when I was doing my postgraduate degree in pediatrics, which today no longer exist. So the amount of suffering that has been reduced, the amount of morbidity and mortality that has been reduced because of vaccines brings a lot of hope to the community, of not only hope for humans, but also for animals, because vaccines also protect animals from many diseases, and thereby they in turn benefit us human beings as well. Now, traditionally there were a few platforms for developing vaccines. You had the inactivated platform, where you basically killed the microorganism, killed the virus, either chemically or through some other way, and then made a vaccine which still had the antigens, but obviously the safety is very high, but the efficacy may be less, and you had to add adjuvants to it to improve the efficacy. You had also the live attenuated vaccines. We talked about BCG, for example, the poliovirus vaccine as well, where the bacteria or the virus is still live, but again it's been attenuated. It does not cause disease, or is not supposed to cause disease. Then you have the subunit protein vaccines. Then we've seen more recently the viral vectored vaccines have been tried for many diseases now. Of course, the most successful one was in the use of the chimp adenovirus vaccine for COVID, the Covishield vaccine that was used in India. And then the platforms like the mRNA platform, the DNA platform, the subunit protein platform, all of these actually were developed during COVID and were tested in efficacy trials and then were used on fairly large populations. So actually the pandemic really accelerated the science in vaccinology and the development of vaccines. And so today we are at a very exciting stage of using these new platforms to tackle diseases and to develop vaccines. And the mRNA technology is now being used to develop vaccines for hand, foot and mouth disease, for human papilloma virus, for dengue virus and so on. But also it's being used for therapeutic molecules against cancer and other non-communicable diseases. So certainly I think the title of this traveling exhibition, Vaccines Injecting Hope, is extremely relevant, really reflects the very story of optimism that vaccines and the huge impact it has made on our lives, on human beings. The greatest miracle, I think, of the 20th century has been the development of vaccines and what it's done to improve human health. But there is one aspect of this which we have to be a little bit concerned about, and that is vaccine disinformation or misinformation, which unfortunately has also been there for a long time, but which saw it get amplified during COVID because of the social media platforms that are now being used by people who want to spread this type of disinformation. And what it does is it increases the hesitancy among people, it creates mistrust, it raises doubts, it creates fear, anxiety, and sort of discourages people from taking a vaccine which would otherwise benefit their health. So on the one hand, people may have genuine questions which need to be answered by scientists, by public health professionals. So that is acceptable when questions are asked and they need to be answered, because people want to be reassured and they want to be told the facts about a particular vaccine that they're being asked to take. But that is different from actually willfully spreading some conspiracy theories or misinformation about a vaccine, or creating unnecessary fear or panic about some side effects that could happen. So in this exhibition, hopefully when people go through it, they will realize and understand what it takes to develop a vaccine, what are all the steps that scientists actually follow, how there is a very strict and strong regulatory system around the development of vaccines before they are finally approved for use, and how they're also monitored even after they are being used in the public. The monitoring of side effects, adverse effects, that actually continues, and there is, in every government, there is a team of people who looks at that and can always change that decision to roll out a vaccine if it is found that there were unexpected side effects that appeared later. And that happens rarely. Most of the time, I think the testing of the vaccines is done very thoroughly. And so that kind of retraction hardly ever happens. During the COVID pandemic, there was fear that because vaccines were developed so quickly in under 1 year, that perhaps attention had not been paid to these very rigorous steps. But actually, that was not the case. It was just as rigorous. The science was very well evaluated. Just that the speed of everything was faster. The regulators also worked faster, and people came together and helped each other so that the steps could proceed in parallel rather than one after the other. And that's how the timelines were brought down so dramatically. And the hope is that by the next pandemic, actually, that timeline can be shrunk even more to less than 100 days. So after the discovery of a new virus or a pathogen causing human disease, within 100 days, you want to see diagnostics, drugs, as well as vaccines. So that's called the 100-day mission. And that many countries are now working towards pandemic prevention and preparedness. And part of that is actually being ready to develop vaccines at very short notice. This requires a lot of investment. It requires preparation well before you have an emergency. But I think most importantly, it requires the public to be informed of all of what it takes and be able to participate and appreciate this process. So I think these type of exhibitions help to improve scientific literacy in the community and in the public at large, and particularly for children and young people. I think it is going to be very, very exciting to see this. I wish the launch or the inauguration of this exhibition at BITM all the best, and apologize for not being there in person. But I hope to come in and see the exhibition during the coming weeks or months. And I want to thank the director again for Dr. Bhaskaran for inviting me to share my thoughts on this occasion. Thank you.
We sincerely thank Dr. Swaminathan for taking time out of her schedule and to share her wisdom and enlighten with her words. In the vaccination drive, frontline workers played a big role in creating awareness on the virus and the vaccination. Let us acknowledge their roles today by giving them a small memento. I would like to call upon Shri Samarendra Kumar, the DDG of NCSM, to hand over small mementos. A&M Sister Geeta. I request Sir Ian Blatchford to give a memento to our ASHA worker Nagina. I request Mr. Chandru Iyer to give a memento to ASHA worker Jahanara. I request Dr. B. Venkat Raman to give a memento to our ASHA worker Shahada Begum. I request Dr. Pragya D. Yadav to hand over a memento to the ASHA worker Shahista Parveen, a heartfelt thank you to all the frontline workers. Moving on ahead, I would like to request Shri Samarendra Kumar, the DDG of NCSM, to felicitate our guests for the day with a token of appreciation as a memento. Now to the felicitation. I would request Shri Samarendra Kumar, DDG of NCSM, to felicitate Sir Ian Blatchford, the Executive Director, Science Group Museum Group, London. Mr. Chandru Iyer, British Deputy High Commissioner. Thank you, Shri Samarendra Kumar. I now invite Shri K. Saju Bhaskaran, Director of VITM, to felicitate our guests, Dr. Pragya Yadav, Senior Scientist, National Institute of Virology, Pune. Dr. B. Venkatraman, Chairman and Executive Committee of VITM. And again, last but not the least, Shri Samarendra Kumar, the DDG of NCSM. As we conclude today's event, we turn to Shri K. Saju Bhaskaran, the Director of VITM, to deliver the vote of thanks to our guests and audience.
Good afternoon. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks to the inaugural session of the exhibition Vaccines Injecting Hope, developed by National Council of Science Museums in collaboration with Science Museum Group, London. Dr. Soumya Swaminathan was highly enthusiastic about the exhibition and had readily agreed to be a part of the inaugural session today, but an important session at the ministry in Delhi has kept her away from us. She was kind enough to send a video message highlighting the importance of vaccines research. A big thanks to Dr. Swaminathan on behalf of NCSM, SMG, and all other organizers and all of you present here. The exhibition was not possible without the active support of Science Museum London. Today we are fortunate to hear the Executive Director of Science Museum Group London, Sir Ian Blatchford. Let me express my deep sense of gratitude to him from all of us present here. Dr. B. Venkatraman, the Chairman of the Executive Committee of Vishesha Museum, is a person who takes great interest in our activities and guides us in our endeavors. Our sincere thanks to you, sir, for to be present here, sir. Dr. Pragya Yadav, Senior Scientist, National Institute of Virology, Pune, was a friend and warrior and a hero of COVID-19, and she has given a lot of valuable inputs to this exhibition. We are fortunate to have you here, madam, and our heartfelt thanks to you, ma'am. On behalf of NCSM and VITM, let me express my sincere thanks to Mr. Chandru Iyer, British Deputy High Commissioner, Kerala and Karnataka. Our sincere thanks are due to Mrs. Alison Barrett, India Country Director, British Council. Our sincere thanks to Ms. Janaka Pushpanathan, Director, South India, British Council, for coordinating this program. Our sincere thanks to Shalini Narayan, International Engagement Manager, Science Museum Group, for helping us in the nitty-gritty of the exhibition and the inaugural function. Let me thank all other staff of British High Commission and British Council who are present here and those who have helped us in organizing this event. Thanks to all our respected guests who has attended this program on our invitation. Our friends from the press and print media are here to cover the inaugural function. I'm sure in the coming days they will take great efforts to send the message of the exhibition to the general public. A big thanks to all of them. Let me express my deep sense of gratitude to the management of the schools who send their students to this opening session. A big thanks to all the students and teachers who are present here. And I'm sure that in coming days we hope to see many more students here. A big round of applause to the Science Museum Group London for collaborating with us in NCSM in developing such a wonderful exhibition. And an exhibition of this magnitude would not have been possible but for the support from a large number of organizations. I take this opportunity to thank the Welcome Group UK, ICMR India, NIV Pune, Serum Institute of India, CSIR, AAMS, and various other research and scientific organizations who helped us in this endeavor. Let me thank Sri A.D. Chaudhary, Director General NCSM, who could not be here for his, but his guidance and support is always with us. Sri Samrendra Kumar, Deputy Director General of NCSM, has been involved in the exhibition right from its inception. Let me thank him for guiding us in every step while the exhibition was set up and for being with us today. Let me thank the ASHA workers who has come here to be a part of this inaugural session. Let me thank the staff of various centers, various units of NCSM who had helped us in many ways in getting this, setting up this exhibition. And last but not the least, my heartfelt thanks to my dear colleagues and supporting staff at Vishweshwara Museum for the hard work they have put in and to setting up this exhibition and making all other necessary arrangements. Looking forward to see that the science will instill hope in all of us in our coming days. Let me conclude. Thank you, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your vote of thanks. I request the students to be seated till the dignitaries move out of the auditorium.